The time is now 6 p.m. Our regular City Council meeting for June 14, 2022 is now in session. First on the agenda is Councilmember Brown would lead us with the opening prayer and the pledges of allegiance to the flags of the United States and the state of Texas. Please rise.
Please bow your heads and let us pray. Lord, thank you for the peace we enjoy in our community. Our world is restless, and we take sanctuary here in our homes with the trust that we are protected by you and your goodwill. We thank you for the quality of the first responders, our maintenance and public works specialists, parks and public affairs, and all the other workers that we often take for granted, but are essential to maintaining peace, safety, and quality of life that we enjoy every day. Tonight, we ask that you guide our City Council and staff in making decisions that are in the best interest of our entire community so that we can all continue to enjoy the wonderful gifts you have provided in our city. And a happy birthday to our U.S. Army and a happy U.S. Flag Day. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Councilmember Brown. Before we get started, I'd like to recognize a special guest that we have here, Boy Scout John Guerrera from Troop 343. Welcome to our session, young man. Welcome to our session. All right, we'll move on then. Let's see. First, it's announcements of upcoming events. Mr. James.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to let everybody know, this Saturday, June 18th, we have music and movies in the park. That's 7 to 10:30 p.m. at Pickerel Park. This one sort of combines both with the showing of Encanto. Reminder that Sunday, the next day, is Father's Day. Monday, June 20th, we're having the retirement celebration for Fire Chief Kay Long. That's from 1 to 3 in the Bluebonnet Hall. Tuesday, June 21st, we're having the Great Northern Trail grand opening. That's 6 to 7 p.m. That's up where the trail connects on Wiederstein Road, 17504 Wiederstein. Thursday, June 23rd is the joint CVLGC council meeting, 6 to 8 p.m. here in council chambers. Saturday, June 25th, we have another music and movies in the park. This is at Cypress Point Park, 7 to 10:30 p.m. Mitchell versus the Machines, or the Mitchells versus the Machines. Tuesday, June 28th at 5:30 p.m., we're going to have the swearing in of the new police chief, James Lowry, and then followed at 6 p.m. by the next council meeting.
Thank you, Mr. James. Next, announcements and recognitions by our city manager, Dr. Brown.
I just have a couple tonight, Mayor. Just wanted to recognize our public works crew. We had a major water main leak last week over by Rips Chrysler, and it was a significant leak. They had to dig many feet down to find the pipe. It took them many hours to not only find it, but to correct the leak. Change out the section of pipe and then fill the hole. They worked till midnight in the scorching heat that day. So thanks Suzanne and all the crews for their great work there. Also, we had our Texas City Manager conference this week in over at Lost Pines near Bastrop. Had a very good conference, and Brian James gave a great presentation on development issues. So it was a very good conference, and I appreciate Brian's good work, and Charles also put that whole program together. So thanks to Charles and Brian for that.
All right. Announcements and recognitions by the mayor. Once again, thank you to our public works crew, the staff, the team. It takes quite a bit of work to take one of those, plug up one of those mains, and I appreciate all the hard work that was done to accomplish that. All right, we'll move on to the hearing of residents. This time is set aside for any person who wishes to address the City Council. Each person is limited to 3 minutes, and we ask before addressing the council, for the record, please state your name and address. Mayor Pro Tem, please call first speaker.
We have two individuals tonight. The first one is Ms. Mickey Terleski.
Michelle Terleski, 705 Maryland Drive, Schertz. I just want to recognize, and I hope I get these names correct, recognize Donisha Tressel and Rudolfo Rosales for hosting me to come in and explain to me a little bit about what they do and how it's done. I appreciate that. I learned a lot from them, and they were very professional. Now, to the nitty-gritty. I was wondering if whoever went to the Crescent Bend nature episode that they had, or observation that they had a couple weeks ago, would tell us how that went, because I'm kind of curious. It's a nature park, and we were out there to catch what I call lightning bugs. And I just thought that was kind of odd. Now, it also, my friends and I, who are in the Hallelujah Amen area back in the back, we were going to go out there, but I didn't have a butterfly net. And I thought if I get a butterfly net and I take one swoop, I'd probably just keep on going down and there'd be nothing but a trail of dust popping up. So I decided, well, that and it's too hot, I'll just pass on it. So I figured those of you who went could tell us how many people were out there and what happened if you released them. Because when I was a kid, we didn't have a butterfly net. We just caught them and put them in mason jars. No how many you put in that mason jar? It will not light up a dark room, I'm telling you. And you got to put holes in them, because if you don't put holes in the lid, those little critters will go belly up on you in no time. So I was kind of curious as to why we were catching them. I guess we were catching to release with little GPS collars or bands or whatever the case may be. But if y'all that went out there could tell me how it went, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Mickey, Brian James can help you with that.
I'm sorry.
Brian James can give you some more information on that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, it looks like Mr. Richard Coons. Oh, Richard.
Let me see if I can set this up here real quick. I was told it comes on automatically. There we go. Go straight to this one. Good evening. My name is Richard Kuntz. I live at 2960 Red Tip. I'm here as a representative of the Schertz Police Association, a citizen of this city. The Schertz Police Association recently conducted a survey of some of what we feel are the most important issues we are facing as a police department. We have provided the results of the survey to the City Council and management. The results of the survey are not surprising to us, and we believe should not be surprising to the city management, the police department, or city council, as we have discussed some of these things with all before. It is our hope that the survey results help to emphasize how much trouble the police department's in. As an example, is that one of the questions, that's question number 9 here, as an example, it shows only 15 of the 45 respondents believe they will still be with the department after 2 years. This means the city could be faced with trying to find or hire 30 people in 2 years' time. With the continued problem the department has had in finding hiring people, these positions most likely would go unfilled. For example, over the last year, the department has only managed to hire 2 officers of the 7 open positions. To be fair, not all of those 30 people are officers, as our members are both sworn and non-sworn members. But in any respect, the city would not be able to hire 30 people in 2 years. This department could not function with so many empty positions. This spells catastrophe. This ultimately threatens the safety of everyone in the community. When looking over the response results from the other questions, we believe it is obvious that why so many people feel that they may not be here after 2 years. This is not meant as something to criticize or demonize anyone's efforts or concerns regarding these problems and addressing them in the past. We wish to bring to the forefront what the issues are, that they need to be addressed, and that they need to be of the highest of priorities. We look forward to the city's response. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Has the survey results been emailed to the council?
I don't know that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't looked at my email this day, today.
I emailed them this afternoon about 4 o'clock. I don't
Okay, that's probably why.
Sorry, I thought that you may have seen them by now. If you want, later on, or if you want, I can actually hand these to you now.
No, that's perfectly fine. I just have not seen my email since 2 o'clock this afternoon, so thank you. All right. We'll move on to consent agenda items. These items are considered self-explanatory, and information packets are provided to council and available for public viewing. These items require no separate discussion unless requested by council. Item number 1, minutes. Approval of the minutes of our regular meeting on June 7th, 2022. Item number 2, ordinance number 22R24. An ordinance by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, closing and abandoning to the abutting property owners a portion of Aviation Avenue right-of-way approximately 918 feet east from Farm to Market Road, FM 1518 to Oak Street, a portion of Mitchell Avenue right-of-way approximately 857 feet east from FM 1518 to Oak Street, and approximately 806 feet of Polo Street right-of-way north of Arrow Avenue, extending 161 feet north of the intersection of Aviation Avenue to Pollard Street, establishing an effective date thereof. Item number 3 is the appointment and reappointments of various boards and commissions. This item has been pulled, and we'll read it entirely later. So we'll move on to number 4, resolution number 22R59, a resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, authorizing the approval of a subdivision improvement agreement with Comel Independent School District to allow the filing of the replat of the Herald subdivision to create Lot 1 and 2, Block 5, prior to the acceptance of the public improvements and other matters in connection therewith. Item number 5, resolution number 22R52. A resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with the Unintech Consulting Engineers Incorporated for design bid construction phase engineering services for the Ware Seguin to Lower Seguin and File Road to North Greytown Road looped waterline project. Okay, council, any others that need to be pulled?
Number 4, please.
Pulled number 4. Okay. Council, is there a motion to approve consent agenda items 1, 2, and 5?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilmember Davis, second by Councilmember Whitaker. Any other comments? Let's go ahead and call for the vote.
Aye.
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 Okay, we have 6 ayes, no objection, motion passes. We'll move on to item number 3. Appointments and reappointments to various boards, commissions, and committees. Consideration or action approving the Board of Adjustments reappointment of Richard Javits and Earl Hartzog and Yvonne Griffin. Appoint Ferrando Haywood to fill a vacant alternate position. The Library Advisory Board, the reappointment of Don Figueres, Letitia Seaver, Joanne Word, Beverly Clark. Appoint Amy Bursett as a regular member. Appoint Linda Duval and Lee Murphy as alternate members filling in current vacancies. And Planning and Zoning Commissions, reappointment of Glenn Outlaw, Judy Golick, and Ernest Evans Jr., and appoint Tamara Brown as a regular member filling the current vacancy. Ms. Whitaker, you pulled this one out. The floor is yours.
Yes, I didn't have any questions. I just wanted to take this opportunity, being on the interview committee, to thank those that have volunteered to step up for these committees and boards. For those who are returning, thank them for their service on those boards, commissions, committees. Depending on the committee, there's a lot of time involved. Some of them are more than others. But in any case, I think it goes towards building more tight-knit community, having more residents involved. And I think something that people always mention is how the city of Schertz feels like a small town, but the numbers would say otherwise, but it's because of this opportunity for people to be involved in these boards and commissions that we can continue to have that feeling. So I appreciate all of those who have volunteered over the last year or two and those who have stepped up to volunteer and are going to be new on the boards and commissions. And then also to mention that we still have some openings, and we've changed the process a little bit, so we're spreading out those interviews over the year. So anybody who's interested, I just encourage them to go online to schertz.com and look at we have a whole page on the boards and commissions, so you can read about each board, what they do, how often they meet, and the current members on it, and then talk to the city secretary if they have interest in applying. So again, thank you for everyone who did step up and continues to step up.
Council, any other comments? Is there a motion to approve the appointments and reappointments?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilmember Whitaker, second by Councilmember Davis. Any other comments? Let's go ahead and call for the vote.
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
We have 6 ayes, no objection, motion passes. We'll move on to item number 4, resolution number 22R59, a resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, authorizing the approval of a subdivision improvement agreement with the Comel Independent School District to allow the filing of the replat of the Harrell subdivision to create Lot 1 and 2, Block 5, prior to the acceptance of the public improvements and other matters in connection therewith. Mayor Pro Tem Scagliola, you pulled this one out. You have questions?
Yeah, I had to read through this about 3 times to figure out what in the world was going on. It finally came to me that about the only thing the ISD wants to do is push forward with their construction and put off the public improvements until they're closer to actually opening the school towards the summer of 2023. Okay, I get that. Now, I did mention a couple of weeks ago that there's a big problem right on the corner of 482 and Hubertus. I tried to come up it, and the cars were blocking, trying to get into the school there to pick up the kids, and it completely shut off the thoroughfare there. I mentioned that it might be a good idea to actually sit down with the ISDs and talk to them about traffic control. Now, I know that part of the public improvement requires that they do a traffic study. I'm not so sure, though, that the traffic study accounts for cars parked in the middle of the road waiting to get into the facility to pick up their children. And I see this as an opportunity, maybe, to actually sit down with the ISD and before they open up this new school, how about coming up with a plan to actually mitigate some of the challenges with the existing school? It may require a redesign of that 482 and Hubertus intersection there. I don't know what the solution is, but this is the time to start talking about it, not after the fact. That's all. Do I have your assurance that the conversation will take place, by the way?
Wasn't sure there was a question in there that you were asking as opposed to a lot of statements. Yeah, Councilman, we can certainly sit down with the school district and talk about traffic kind of management around the school. A couple things I would say if you're interested is, we tend to run into 2 problems with schools. At times, there isn't room for adequate stacking on the school site itself, and so thus parents are forced, if you will, to stack out in the street. The other is really not that. There's room. Parents just don't want to get in line. They want to sit somewhere and sort of wait. So again, if you've driven on Wiederstein at the elementary school off there, you'll notice cars stacking up to queue on Wiederstein, and it seems to be more about want to get in and get out quickly. as you've come over here to our campus, 4 o'clock in the afternoon during the school year, you'll see a whole bunch of folks coming to pick up their kid because it's quicker to get in and out. So we can certainly have that conversation with them to try to work out something to sort of manage it. Yes, sir.
Okay,
You have my assurance that we will have that conversation.
you're a good man. Thank you so very much. I don't have any other questions. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 22R59.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Mayor Pro Tem Scagliola, second by Councilmember Hayward. Any other comments? Let's go ahead and call for the vote.
Aye.
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 We have 6 ayes, no objection, motion passes. All right, we'll move on to item number 6, workshop. City boards and commissions and committees, discussion regarding our city liaison positions on various city boards, commissions, and committees, and setting joint meetings. Councilmember Hayward requested this item. Councilmember Hayward, the floor is yours.
The reason I requested that is because we keep having the conversation on, I guess, the way some of the boards are. We don't know what's going on until the last minute, and I'm just thinking that a way to know that is we are liaisons on the boards, and we can certainly pick those things later as we get past the election, but it's a way for council also to know what's going on and to be able to come back and report, hey, I'm on this board, this is what we were discussing, this is the way they're going forward. Not that we're giving them any information or advice on what to do. We're just there on behalf of other council members to bring something forward and letting us know what's going on the boards, because we keep, there's certain boards that we've had issues with, and I just think it's another way to be able for us to know what's going on without hearing it or getting phone calls from a bunch of people when something went awry.
Okay, council, any comments? Yes, Mayor Pro Tem Scagliola.
Yeah, I remember back in the good old days, we did have liaisons for just about every board and committee that was out there. And then it was decided that I think the rationale was that perhaps the individuals was providing a little bit too much influence to the board or the committee. Personally, I never saw that. I sat with the TSAC, I sat on the Animal Control Board, and I did my absolute best not to advocate my position. But I can see how the concern could arise. I liked being the liaison because I could act as a conduit for concerns that were expressed by the committee, and actually bring them up to the management. Yeah, believe it or not, I am a nice person, and sometimes people feel more comfortable talking to me about certain situations than they do with even the chairman of the board or the staff personnel, because I have no sense, and I will actually try to resolve a problem if I see it. Yeah, I color outside the lines. I'm sorry. So anyway, that's some of the history with the liaison positions. I don't have a problem with them. Like I said, it was just one less meeting a month I had to go through when they decided to do away with them. That's all.
Okay.
But if there's council members that would like to sit in on the boards or committees, hey, more power to them.
Okay. Councilmember Dalla.
I'd kind of echo what Councilmember Scagliola said. When I first joined P&Z way back in the day, we did have the liaisons, and we did have a council member that came and sat in the back row there for a meeting every once in a while, and it was a good opportunity to have conversations, just kind of see where everybody's at, and to provide communication to council through P&Z, through that member. So I think if the rest of the council members are okay with it, definitely. The only caveat that I would mention is that we probably need to have just a little clearer definitions to exactly what it is we would be doing, what we shouldn't be doing, and so that way we don't cause ourselves any unintended consequences.
Okay. Councilmember Whitaker.
I like the idea, And I like Councilman Dalla's clarification that we should have clearly defined roles so that we do know what we're doing there. But not that you'd be required to attend every meeting, but you would be the person to check in periodically, and if they had an issue, they could ask you questions, and you might be able to help them find some resolution there. So I think it's a very good idea. I'm in favor.
Okay. Councilmember Davis.
I'm good with it. I remember being on the Parks Board, and Councilman Fowler was there just about every meeting, and it was a good opportunity for the Parks Board to get a sanity check from time to time and bounce things off of him as to where he thought the city was going. So I'm all in favor for it.
Okay. Any other comments? Councilmember Brown.
Yeah, and once again, I was sitting on the EDC when we had the council liaisons, but, and like Councilman Whitaker said, they didn't have to be there every week, but there was a point of contact for the board chairman if there was an issue, and, most of the time you're going to be there, so.
Okay. From what I gather, this council wants to go ahead and set up liaisons. Would council have any objections to holding off until after we consider it is an election year for a new chair, and those assignments need to be placed out there, so there's be some time there that we can work those issues out and see what role they will play in these different boards. We'll have to look at each board and see whether or not it's required on each one to review that. I think there's 9 boards, 9 different committees, and I think most of them would require one, if I'm not mistaken. Is there?
Mayor?
Yeah.
We have Councilman Davis on HUD, and I'm on Animal Services.
On TERS.
And
We have TERS, yeah.
and TERS, and they're on TERS.
So there's some that already filled in as,
So the ones that we would need to look at is the ones that's not filled. And, I don't see why we can't start now, but if everyone wants to wait, because we get started, then when we have elections, we can swap or change it.
I'm at the board's discretion. If you want to start as early as we can get this set up, we can.
I would like to.
I'd be fine either way, but like Councilwoman Hayward was saying, we got on animal control and on TERS, but, in those roles, we're actually active members on that board, commission, committee, and not a liaison. But if there is a council member serving as an active board member, then definitely there's not a need for an additional as a liaison.
Okay. We'll start working on this and see how soon we could get it on there. The other portion of this was requesting setting up joint meetings. That one, I do want to offer some objection because we can have these meetings at any time. I just don't see a need to have them on a regular basis if there's not a need to have a meeting.
Mayor, I was just given options to either be liaisons, and then that option that I figured probably wouldn't fly anyway, to be honest, was meeting with them. But if we get liaisons, we don't have to meet with them. All the boards, it's just the ones that we normally meet with. I'm fine with that. I just was given a couple options.
Okay. Any other comments from council regarding setting up joint meetings? Okay. So,
Mayor,
yes, Dr. Brown.
So on the liaisons, I would recommend that we add something to the council rules or council procedures about the duties, and that we draft up, something that addresses what Councilman Dalla said. And we could do that.
Okay.
But I would put it in there so that, in the years following, we have a clear understanding, and we're not trying to make it up.
All right.
Absolutely.
Okay. Any other comments regarding the workshop? No? All right. We'll move on to roll call confirmation. Our City Secretary, Brenda Dennis, will provide us a roll call confirmation on agenda items 1 through 5. There was no action taken for 6.
Consent agendas, items 1, 2, and 5. Motion was made by Councilmember Davis, seconded by Councilmember Whitaker. Mayor Pro Tem Scagliola, Councilmembers Davis, Whitaker, Dalla, Hayward, Brown voted yes. No one voted no. Motion passed 6-0. Item number 3, approve the appointments and reappointments to the boards, commissions, and committees. Motion was made by Councilmember Whitaker, seconded by Councilmember Davis. Mayor Pro Tem Scagliola, Councilmembers Davis, Whitaker, Dalla, Hayward, Brown voted yes. No one voted no. Motion passed 6-0. Item number 4, resolution number 22R59. A motion was made by Mayor Pro Tem Scagliola, seconded by Councilmember Hayward. Mayor Pro Tem Scagliola, Councilmembers Davis, Whitaker, Dalla, Hayward, Brown voted yes. No one voted no. Motion passed 6-0.
Thank you, Ms. Dennis. Okay, we'll move on to our closed session. Item number 7, our city council will meet in the closed session in accordance with section 551.074 of the Texas Governmental Code to discuss the vacancy of the fire chief. The time is now 6:31. We will reconvene after our discussion. The time is now 6:42. We reconvene into a regular session after our discussion and deliberation regarding our closed session in reference to agenda item number 7 in regards to the fire chief vacancy. There is no action required, therefore no confirmation, vote confirmation. Item number 9. Item number 9 is information packets regarding our monthly updates on major projects in progress and also on capital improvement projects. These information packets have been made available to council and are also available online at Schertz.com. So we'll move on to requests and announcements. Any further announcements from our city manager, Dr. Brown?
Nothing further, Mayor.
Council, any possible updates or information requested from staff? Council, any possible items you'd like to place on the future agenda? Okay. Announcements by our council members or events they attended. Mayor Pro Tem Scagliola?
Nothing tonight, sir.
Councilmember Davis?
Nothing tonight, sir.
Councilmember Whitaker?
I attended the Fire Academy graduation last Friday. It was very well attended. It was great to see all the parents out there supporting their kids and looked like they all had a great time. And then the Northeast Partnership Luncheon, which is always a great event.
Councilmember Dalla?
Nothing today.
Councilmember Hayward?
Yes, I attended the junior and high school fire academy. It was great. It was a lot of people out. As she said, it was great to see the parents out there and the number of kids that actually went through the training. I attended the Northeastern Partner Luncheon, and I also did the Guadalupe County Community Coalition, and they did a Big Brothers, Big Sisters presentation, so if anyone's interested in doing that, being a big brother, big sister, they could really use your help, and that is all.
Councilmember Brown?
A Northeast Partnership, good to see that the Schertz mayor is in charge again, so.
Okay. All right. The time is now 6:45. We stand adjourned.